I used to think success would smell like money. Sterile, metallic, cold, like the inside of a bank vault. Or maybe like engine oil, sharp, industrial, something loud and commanding. Something my father would respect. Instead, tonight, it smells like amber and orange peel. The Venutha Glasswell atrium is drenched in warm light. Its arched greenhouse ceiling stretching above me like the rib cage of some gentle giant. Golden bulbs drip from the rafters in strands, glowing like captive fireflies. Potted ferns spill down from hanging baskets. People brush past me in glittering clusters, clinking champagne glasses, murmuring in velvet voices. The air is thick with myocrations, ashes of August, midnight orchard, first kiss that almost was candles, lit in clusters across stone tables, their scent clouds overlapping like overlapping memories. Some stranger near the bar laughs and says, "God, this place smells like nostalgia." They don't know how literally that's true. A journalist in a burgundy suit is trying to get my attention. Someone else wants to take another photo of me in front of the Ember Eve logo wall. My phone buzzes with what must be 100 DMs, tags, congratulations, offers. And underneath it all, like faint radio static buried deep beneath a symphony, I hear them playing with candles again? What are you, 12? You're wasting your time with this arts and crafts crap. Dream all you want. Honey bills don't get paid in glitter I swallow. Smile, tilt my chin toward the camera. My dress, rust-colored silk biasket, hugging me like a promise, glints under the lights. I had been terrified. It was too bold, too loud. To me. But my creative director said I looked like a living flame in it. So I decided not to apologize for it. Flash, flash, flash. I hold the champagne flute but don't sip. My fingers tremble too much for glass and carbonation. I tuck one behind my back, trace my thumb over the small burn scar on my wrist. A little raised pink line from spilling hot wax 2 years ago. Back when I was melting soy blocks over a $19 hot plate in my shitty studio apartment, sitting on the floor because I didn't have a table yet. Back then, everything smelled like desperation and lavender oil. Back then, I worked at a grocery store during the day, printed labels on my roommate's shitty inkjet at night, and prayed anyone would buy something I made. I remember the first online order that wasn't from a friend. A woman from Ohio ordered 2 jars of homesick honey. I sat in the dark, staring at that $38 PayPal notification, and sobbed like I'd been rescued from a sinking ship. Now, tonight, my brand has officially launched in Harper's Boutique Home, Aria and Sons department stores, and next month Target. They said it like it was nothing over our last investor call, like it was just another bullet point in a presentation. As if that wasn't my entire teenage daydream come to life. People are smiling at me like they already know me, like they were always in my corner. I nod back like I believe them, then my phone buzzes. Not the triumphant spark of a tag or the swooping trill of an Instagram mention. The muted, default vibration tone of a text message. I don't need to check the screen to know. Still, my hand reaches into my purse like gravity. Mom? I haven't saved her name with an emoji since high school. Haven't deleted her number either. Because no matter how many times I swore I didn't give a shit what she thought, some small, pathetic fraction of my soul still waited for the day she'd say I was wrong. I'm proud of you. I opened the message. Saw your little candle business thing is trending. Your Aunt Linda sent it in the family group chat. Guess it worked out after all. Maybe now you'll stop stressing us out with the dramatic underdog entrepreneur act. Dad says told you she'd grow out of it eventually. I stare at the words until the screen dims. Eventually, as if all of this were some delayed form of compliance. As if I had finally chosen a normal life. Laughter erupts behind me. A woman in sequins is telling a cameraman how Ember Eve feels like someone bottled grief and lit it on fire. Someone else clinks a glass, calling for attention. Can we get the founder up here? My name echoes through the greenhouse. Founder. Not childish, not dramatic, not dreamer, founder. My throat tightens. A flicker of red swims at the corner of my eyes, but I blink it away. Tears are for basements and locked bathrooms, not industry events. As I step toward the makeshift stage, the room shifts into soft motion, like watching my own life through someone else's camera dolly. I could smell Midnight Orchard's strongest up here, dark plum and burnt sugar. The one I made when I was heartbroken and furious and too numb to do anything but stir wax at 4 a.m. It smells like survival. Speech, someone chants more. Join in. I grip the mic. My pulse is a drumline in my ears. This is it. The moment I used to rehearse in my head while restocking cereal shelves, the fantasy montage I built to survive their laughter, I open my mouth and hear my brother's voice instead. Flashback Christmas, 4 years ago. You know what's sad? My brother Kyle said between handfuls of Chex Mix. Some people just never realize they're not special. They waste their good years trying to make it instead of just getting a job like everyone else. He was talking about me. He said it to me. Our parents pretended not to hear. My uncle chuckled. I remember swallowing so hard it hurt. I was 22 and had just sold 18 candles at a winter market. I thought it was a miracle. They acted like I was playing store in the garage. The crowd is waiting. I'm no longer sure what I want to say. Pride rises in my chest like heat crackling, luminous, undeniable, but tangled in it is that old ache, the desperate, starving need for someone who never believed in me to finally look at me without rolling their eyes. I lick my lips. The mic squeals slightly and laughter ripples gently through the room. Encouraging, warm. They're rooting for me. They want me to speak. Not to justify myself. Not to earn it. Just to own it. I take a breath deep enough to taste citrus and smoke. And for the first time in my life, I don't picture their faces when I speak. My name is Elise Grant, I say into the mic, and the crowd cheers softly like they already knew but liked hearing me claim it. I let the sound run through me, warm, effervescent, like stepping into afternoon sunlight after hours in the cold. I used to make candles on the floor of a 400-square-foot apartment. I continue, steadying my voice. The wax stains are probably still on the tile of the pot. If I could make something that made someone feel even 1 second of peace or nostalgia or hope, then that was worth something. I don't know where this speech is going. I didn't plan it. But it keeps coming. I didn't start this brand because I wanted to be impressive, I say. I did it because scent was the only language I knew from memory. Because I wanted to believe that the feelings I bottled up for years could be poured into something beautiful. A hush settles. A few people wipe their eyes. And for a moment, a split second, I almost say I wish my family could hear this. But they wouldn't understand. They'd hear fragile instead of resilient. So instead, I smile. And now, here we are. Ember Eve is officially live in 68 stores nationwide. We just passed 100,000 online subscribers. We have our own lab now, 3 employees, and apparently a signature scent that smells like breakups and therapy. Laughter. Real, full laughter. The kind that doesn't feel like mockery. I grip the mic tighter. I know I'm supposed to thank mentors, industry figures, investors. And I do. I am endlessly grateful for every person in this room who believed in me before I did. A pause. The words I don't say hang like smoke above me, even if it wasn't family. But then because I can feel it swelling inside me like pressure before a storm, I say it. Especially those of you who weren't bound by blood but chose to show up anyway. A woman in the back cheers. Someone claps twice, loudly. Glasses lift in approval. My throat tightens again, this time from something clean. Something healing. I don't thank my mother. I don't dedicate this to my father. I don't pretend they were part of this story, because they weren't. I step back from the mic as applause ripples across the room like wind through tall grass. I don't bow, I don't curtsy, I just stand there, absorbing it, letting the love settle on my skin like perfume. When it fades, people swarm. Hands pat my shoulders. Someone thrusts another glass at me. Compliments pour like honey. You're incredible. We've been following your journey since TikTok. You deserve all of this. Do I? The question flits through my mind like a moth. Do I deserve this? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes again. I know I shouldn't look, but I do. Mom saw your speech. Your aunt sent me the link. Don't get a big head now. Remember where you came from. I stare. The video must have been streamed. Someone probably posted a clip already. Of course it spread. TikTok loves poetic speeches from underdog founders. But that's what she took from it. My grip loosens, and I nearly drop the phone. Everything okay? Asks Becca, my marketing director, and one of the first people who ever actually saw me. Her blonde hair is tucked behind one ear. Champagne beads slide down her glass like sweat. Her eyes are steady. Grounding. I could lie. But I don't want to. My mom, I say simply. Becca nods nose. Doesn't pry? Want me to disappear with you for a minute? She asks. I smile faintly. No. I think I need to stand here. Just stand here. And not flinch. She squeezes my hand once before melting back into the crowd. I stare at the text again. Don't get a big head now. As if confidence is arrogance. As if pride is a sin. As if believing in myself is a threat. I hit the side button. The screen goes black. Tonight is not for her. I tuck the phone deep into my clutch. Out of sight? Not yet out of mind, but buried. At least someone starts music low, rhythmic, meant for mingling. The crowd disperses into softer clusters. A few guests begin lighting personal candles from mine, like votives at a vigil. I watch the flames catch, tiny lives sparking into existence one by one. A woman I don't recognize approaches. She's older, maybe mid-40s, with kind eyes and a cashmere shawl. She clutches a candle labeled Homesick Honey. I bought my first one from you 3 years ago, she says. Back when your labels were printed crooked? I laugh. They always got jammed in the printer. I lit it every night while my husband was deployed, she says softly. It made me feel less alone. Her voice trembles. Thank you. She squeezes my hand. And in that moment, I feel something I have chased my entire life but never named: worthiness. Not approval. Not validation. Not applause or clout or viral praise. Value. I mattered to someone. I built something that reached farther than their voices, their doubts, their mockery. Their eventually ours blur. Photos. Interviews. Laughter that starts to feel real. I dance with people I just met. I cry with strangers over shared stories of being underestimated. I breathe in sandalwood and smoke until it feels like oxygen. And then, I slip away. To the back corridor behind the venue lined with crates, string-like cords, and potted olive trees waiting to be placed. Cool night air leaks through the exit door, brushing my skin like a lullaby. I stand alone. Or as alone as someone with 1,000 digital notifications can be. I pull out my phone again. One notification hovers at the top. Dad missed call. Followed by a voicemail. For a moment, a brief, dangerous moment, my heart leaps. Maybe he said he was proud. I press play. Hey, your mom said your store thing went well? That's good. Call us sometime. Haven't heard your voice? Silence. Then, oh, and your cousin Matthew is thinking of starting a watch brand online? You should give him some tips since you've, done the internet thing. The voicemail ends. No, congratulations. No, I'm proud of you. Just a request. A pivot. A reminder that I am useful, not praiseworthy. Something inside me cracks softly, quietly. Like the first split in an eggshell before birth. I don't cry. I just stand there looking at the cracked pavement beneath my heels and whisper to no one. I'm done asking you to see me. I stay outside longer than I mean to. The muffled music seeps through the brick wall at my back, pulsing bass softened by layers of time and distance. Through the exit door's cracked glass, I can see silhouettes gliding beneath the golden lights inside. My people. My real people. The ones who clapped when I spoke and didn't roll their eyes at my trembling voice. I inhale cedarwood and citrus clinging to my dress, vanilla woven into my hair. I smell like the very future I built. And for once, I don't smell like yearning. I scroll through my contacts. My mother, my father, my brother. Their names lined up like a locked door I used to throw myself against until I bled. Below them, favorites Becca, Miguel, and Samira. Uncle Ray, the only relative who ever ordered from me without asking for a discount. People who showed up before there was anything to gain. My thumb hovers over my mother's name. Not out of longing. Out of habit. That's when the realization lands. I have mistaken access for connection my entire life. They have always been reachable. Never truly with me. Tonight, standing beneath a flickering street lamp, dress wrinkling at the waist, heels biting, I make a decision. I don't delete their numbers. That would turn them into martyrs. Instead, I move them out of favorites into a folder I create on the spot. A quiet drawer, a polite distance. Then, I do something I once swore I never would. I open messages, scroll to my mother's thread, tap and hold, and select mute conversation. No notification. No ripple. No lightning strike. Just silence. A silence I control. A silence that isn't punishment. Just boundary. When I return inside, the warmth rushes toward me like applause from a fireplace. "Where'd you go?" Becca asks, appearing at my side like a guardian with mascara. "Had to talk to an old ghost?" I say. "Did she listen?" I stopped asking. Becca smiles, soft, proud, good. She hands me a fresh glass. Whiskey this time, amber, Slaburnian. "For the founder," she says. I raise it. But before I drink, I find the DJ. "Can I have the mic one more time?" He grins, hands it over without question. The chatter doesn't hush this time, but it dips. Heads turn. Music lowers. I stand in the center of the room, whiskey in one hand, mic in the other. "I know I already made one speech tonight," I say, "and I promise this won't be long." Soft laughter. I glance at the string lights, the people, the candles flickering in little glass constellations across the room. "There are people who love you because they have to," I say slowly. "And then there are people who see you and choose to love you anyway." Eyes glisten. Shoulders edge closer. Hands reach pockets for tissues. Tonight is for the second kind. I lift my glass high. To the believers who didn't share my blood, but shared my vision. Glasses rise like fire in unison. A chorus of hears, cheers, hell yes. We drink. The whiskey scorches down my throat, warm and honest. For the first time in my life, I don't swallow that feeling down. I let it burn. I let it brand me new. Later, when the lights dim and the venue empties and the cleanup crew starts stacking folding chairs, I stand alone beneath the Ember and Eve neon sign still glowing above the entrance. I run my fingers over the letters. Eve? I named it after my middle name. After my grandmother Evelyn, the only woman in my family who ever told me I was magic. She died before she could see any of this. But somehow standing there, streetlights flickering like candles in vigil, I feel her. "Adder girl," she whispers somewhere in my bones. I close my eyes and whisper back. "Watch me burn." As I step outside into the cool night, my phone buzzes in my bag again. I don't check, I don't reach, I walk. Not away, but forward toward the taxi waiting. Toward the lab I'll visit tomorrow to test our next fragrance. Toward the billboard going up next week in Times Square. Toward a future no one handed me. Every step perfumed in smoke and orange peel. Every inhale a reminder. I was my own ember. And I chose to stay lit.